Hey, I'm ZFG, and this is my Ocarina of Time speedrun in 21 minutes and 45 seconds. And I have some other commentators with me.
Hi, I'm Cosmo.
Hey, this is Swordless.
So this is the basic any percent speedrun category where you try to beat the game as fast as possible using any means necessary outside of cheat devices. And this is the world record for that category. This run also uses a lot of glitches, including a newly discovered glitch to beat the game as child, which has never been done before.
It took a couple of years to get the time this low with all the different discoveries, but now, with the recent big skip right to the end of Ganon's castle, the time is now possible to get under 25 minutes, and this run is 21:45, which is really good.
Yeah.
There are no really major mistakes in this run, I don't think.
Yeah, Ocarina of Time speedruns used to be about 5 hours without glitches, so we've gotten it down pretty low.
There's been a recent shift to play on the Japanese version of the game because the text is a lot faster and everyone already knows the whole story. So that's why this run's on Japanese.
Yeah, in this category, I think it saves it's about 1.5 to 2 minutes.
Yeah,
I think it's 1 minute 40 seconds.
Yeah, that's right.
In longer categories such as MST or Medallion Stones Trials, it saves about 12 minutes. Probably less now because of the new tricks, but around about 12 minutes. Just to give you an idea, I mean that's like a 2-hour run or 2.5-hour run. It saves about 12 minutes in that. It's quite a lot.
One of my favorite parts of this run is that a lot of the big cutscenes are gone except for the intro, so you don't have to watch the Master Sword cutscene, the Light Arrow cutscene, or beating any of the dungeons.
Yeah, we're all really glad that the Light Arrow cutscene is gone.
Yeah, the cutscenes in this game were pretty much the worst part of speedrunning it before, because all you're doing is pressing A and you really want to get to some action.
It's pretty much not
the gameplay to cutscene ratio
to this stage. Yeah, I don't have that ratio on me, but you named your character Z instead of ZFG.
Yeah,
frames.
Yeah, the number of characters your name is actually has an effect on the run. Well, not a huge effect, but every extra character adds 8 frames to the run because your name is spelled out 8 times. So I used to name myself ZFG, and that cost me 16 extra frames, and I actually had one run where that 16 extra frames was the difference between 22 minutes exactly and 21 minutes and 59 seconds.
Yeah.
And that's when
it's fairly close to a second, isn't it? 16 frames, because it runs at 20.
That's about 4/5 of a second.
Yeah, it's definitely worth naming your character one letter.
Alright, so the run is about to start now.
Yeah.
You see I'm walking backwards here. This is actually faster than moving forwards.
So you don't get those 2 rupees anymore? New rupee route?
Yeah, so I need to get a few rupees in Carry Force, but not that much. I'll need to buy the shield a bit later on.
Most of your rupees will come from when you're going down Zora's River, because there are rupees directly on the path there.
So here's the sword, which is...
right?
Huh?
20 rupees in the river and 20 in the forest?
Yeah. So here's the sword, which is gonna obviously play a pretty big part in this.
It is possible to skip the sword for this run, but it's not faster.
Yeah, there was actually...
involved buying a lot of Deku sticks.
Yeah, actually the previous speedrun route actually never used the sword a single time, although that was over 20 minutes longer than this. So just collecting a few more rupees there.
So there's your 20.
So instead of going directly to the Deku Tree like you think I would, I'm going to head over to Lost Woods. And I'm about to do the first glitch in the run.
Oh, you have like a really crazy setup for this now, right? It's like,
oh yeah. All you have to do is aim for this corner and walk forward, and you have a perfect lineup. This trick is actually very precise. You need a very precise positioning and angle for it, but someone else found a way to get it very consistent. And
Yeah,
so
that
you
was
see there,
really insane.
I was able to jump in that space between the stone and the land. I was able to clip in and escape to Zora's River early. Normally you would need...
I'm still surprised that setup for that could actually be found, given how precise the angle is.
Yeah.
But then again, after the Gerudo Bridge flip,
Yeah.
nothing surprises me anymore.
And normally you would need a silver or gold scale to get in that warp, but the loading zone for the warp actually extends pretty high up, so I was able to enter it without diving. So I'm getting a few more rupees down the river, and with those 40, I'll be able to buy the Deku Shield when I return to Kokiri Forest.
The Deku Shield only actually has one required use in this run, and that is the pre-boss room in the Deku Tree. Nowhere else actually needs it, but it does save a lot of time in many places anyway.
Alright, so here's a glitch called Water Extended Super Slide, where I jump slash on the wall over there, and go in the water and hold my control stick at a very slight angle towards the right, and it allows me to keep my speed from the jump slash and go all the way to Kakariko very fast.
There's like a faster way to do it, but it's like almost impossible with the sword.
Yeah, you can start it near the exit to Zora's River, but it's very hard and saves very little time. So here's my personal favorite part of the run. The Cucco collecting.
Sarcasm.
Yeah, extreme sarcasm. I'm gonna need a bottle for a trick later on, and this is the fastest one to get. And the Cuccos are extremely annoying. They're all in set positions, but the way they move can be random in those positions, and they can make a huge impact on the time. In this run, luckily, I got some very good positions, and this was probably my best Cucco collecting ever. So I got pretty lucky this time, but in most attempts, they never like to cooperate.
That is a really good setup that you have right by the cook. So
Yeah.
them in the same place.
And backwalking here is also even faster than it normally would be, since you can't even roll while you're holding the Cuccos. So by backwalking with them, it's like almost twice as fast as running forwards. And now here, once I climb to the top of this ladder, I'm going to turn to the right and stand there for a second. That looks a little weird, but I do that to make sure the Cucco I just threw below runs past the well, if you see there. Normally, if I don't do that, it'll get stuck behind the well, and it costs about 5 extra seconds to go try to get it. But by doing that, it allowed it to be in a perfect position for me to grab and run back to the pen.
Yeah, pretty much perfect bottle.
And I'm also going to need some bugs for a trick later on.
Now he's going to do a save warp back to his house so he can quickly get to the Deku Tree.
Yeah, if you save and reset, it allows you to warp back to Kokiri Forest very fast. Also, I just want to mention that weird text you see on the screen before the N64 logo. That's just because I'm playing this on the Wii Virtual Console version, and I have an American Wii, and this is the Japanese version, so it can't really display the Japanese characters very well, so it does that. So it's not any kind of cheating or anything. It's just a weird glitch.
Do you have any idea how much the VC version saves in this category due to lag?
I would assume somewhere around 30 seconds.
Most of that's probably from the castle escape,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, just about all of it, I would think.
Yeah, Ganon's
Yeah.
castle lags very hard on N64.
Yeah. It's
So there's
really
the Deku
bad.
Shield.
There is a way to skip Mido here, but it's really precise and just it's so not worth it for console.
Yeah, it saves very little time. I think I tried this for hours, a few days. and I could just never get it.
No, it's just too precise.
Yeah.
You could probably do it with pause buffering, but that kind of defeats the point, because one of the main reasons you would do it is to skip a pause.
Yeah. Also, I took some damage, as you saw, from the Deku Babas back there. That was intentional. I'm going to have to die a little bit later on in the run, so that's going to save me time. And I also grabbed a Deku Stick because, actually a fun fact is the Deku Stick is actually more powerful than the Kokiri Sword, and it's actually as powerful as the Master Sword. And that extra power is going to be very helpful later on.
And if you don't actually break the stick, you can still attack with it with power crouch stabs or ISG, and both of those do not break the stick, so you can keep that one stick the whole time.
What's really interesting is that the Deku Stick is actually as powerful as the Master Sword, even on Ganon, for some reason, whereas the other adult weapons aren't.
Yeah, like Big Round Sword, or Hammer, or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess they just never, like...
Yeah, they never
checked.
thought anyone would get there as a kid, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So right there he pulled a stick and skipped the text box of the vines. Because Link was like busy with an action. And then there's another trigger for these vines too, but he can use the chest to grab the vines. So skipping both the triggers skips the text.
Yeah, and that saves about 3 seconds. On the English version it'd be more, because now he just never shuts up. And so here is a very cool trick. By side hopping off the web as soon as I break it, and then jump slashing about halfway through the fall, I'm able to get this anti-gravity glitch with the ceiling, which is able to extend my jump slash recoil a little bit extra, and allows me to land on this higher ledge and skip the entire basement of the Deku Tree. And I also did a glitch called Flame Storage up there, which, when I jump slashed the torch, it stored a flame whenever... The next time I would take out a Deku Stick, it would automatically light it. I'm not sure exactly why that works, but it's a pretty cool trick.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever really understood why flame storage works, and it's been around since like 2005.
Yeah, it's a very strange glitch.
The reason he jump slashed into this cutscene was so that his power crouch stab will have the power of a Deku Stick, which allows him to quickly kill the boss.
Okay, I guess we should quickly explain power crouch stab. Whenever you press R without holding Z and press B, you'll do a little stab with your shield, or with crouched, and it'll do the same damage as your last attack.
Which in this case is a Deku Stick jump slash,
Yeah.
i.e. as powerful as the Master.
Yeah, so not only was he able to do enough damage right there to kill Goma with the power crouch stab, but when he jump slashed he also got hit intentionally and died at the same time that he killed Goma, and that's going to bring him back to the top of the tree. And that's necessary because that door that shut, that like big rock wall that came down, is back up now, and he needs that to be an opened path when he comes back.
So the next glitch I do here is called a Mega Side Hop. When I roll and shield damage and side hop at the same time, I get this very fast backward side hop, and allows me to skip the basement again very fast and get back to Goma's room pretty quickly. And now here is where the big glitch starts.
Yeah, this is the biggest thing in the run, the biggest discovery that led to the time being so low, was this warp glitch. And he's setting up for it right now. And you need bugs to do it. That's the only way we know how.
So this is called the Ocarina Items glitch, where I use my sword as an ocarina. And by doing it on the edge of the blue warp, I'm able to move while the blue warp is trying to take me up. So in this next part, I'm pausing to look for very specific frames, because this next part is very precise. By opening the door at a very specific frame, the game tries to load the Kokiri Emerald cutscene and the room before the boss at the same time. So it adds those two values together, and the resulting value is that room in the Ganon's Castle escape, and now I'm at the top of Ganon's Tower.
A really convenient part about this is that this is right after you would have needed the light arrows, and if it was anywhere before that, Child Link would not be able to complete the game. But because it's right after that, all you need is your sword, and you
Yeah.
can keep going and finish the game.
And Light Arrow's skip has actually been one of the most sought after skips since Ocarina of Time speedrunning really began. Like, we've always joked about how we could try to find Light Arrow skip sometime, but it would like never really be possible because we could never warp past Ganondorf. It'd never be possible, and now it is. So now Child Link
sorry.
is running down with adult Zelda.
Yeah, time paradox. But the cool thing about Light Arrow Skip 2 is it skips magic, which needs Lullaby, so, I mean, it skips like a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, like the entire game.
Yeah, the entire game.
Just a fun fact about glitching and speedrunning in this game in general. Every single item in the game can be skipped one way or another, except for Master Sword. You can't skip them all together. You will need certain items to skip other items, like how I get a few items in this, even though I don't skip everything. But there is some way to skip every item, and I just think that's a really cool fact about this game. It just really demonstrates how broken this game really is.
We'll find a way to get Ganonless's child, and then you can do it.
And then we skip every single item.
Yeah, Ocarina of Time's got to be the craziest game I've ever played, just in terms of like what you can do. It's like unlimited with all the glitches.
With glitches, there are so few restrictions. Like, you can do almost anything. Okay, so here is the Stalfos battle, where I do a glitch called Infinite Sword Glitch. When I do a crouch stab and then quickly interrupt it with something, in this case, Navi text by targeting the Stalfos, my sword keeps swinging even though I'm technically not swinging it, so it keeps doing damage. So all I have to do is run into the Stalfos, and it does this huge amount of damage very quickly.
It also means that the Deku Stick isn't going to break, which means it can be used again and again.
Yeah, and that's going to be very helpful again on Ganon.
I like that jump you did there, which skipped Zelda screaming. I've been trying to kind of figure that out for a while.
Also, I need to be very careful with the rocks on fire here, because if I accidentally get hit, it freezes the game sometimes. Also,
Nice little time saver there that you got against the bars.
Yeah.
Where I just in between.
yeah, if you're standing in a very precise spot when Zelda tries to open the bars, Link will be right in front of her, and it saves a few frames, but it's usually done on the very last set of bars, and I've almost never gotten it on any bars besides the very last one before leaving the tower.
It's very difficult to get on any other kind of
Yeah,
bars
so I got
because,
extremely lucky by getting it right there.
Yeah, because like she's moving at an angle with all the other ones, so it's really hard to actually properly get wedged in there. But
And I got
that one at the end, she's moving. Yeah, it's a shame you missed that one at the end,
Yeah.
because that one actually saves the most time.
Yeah, I got the very hard one, but not the really easy one. And now Ganon's castle comes crashing down.
The final fight is actually a little bit intense because you want to get the first try on the ISG, and you don't have that much time.
Yeah.
This is now one of the longest cutscenes in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, I think it's probably second only to the intro.
Intro, yeah.
Yeah.
You'll see young Link kind of jumping up and down here. That's just the game trying to fit him into adult Link's model.
Yeah, it looks pretty funny. Link's just standing
He's
in the
floating
air
in
right
the air.
here. There's also a few other cutscenes in the game that happens, but it's not done in this run. So I did a quick jump slash right before this cutscene started to store my crouch stab with the Deku Stick jump slash, so I'm going to be able to do some damage on Ganon very quickly now.
And like we mentioned before, it has for some reason the same power as the Master Sword even in this fight, which means that it only takes 3 hits to end his first cycle. And this cutscene's a lot less laggy on VC than it is on N64.
Yeah, I think N64 has something like 4 to 8 seconds of lag on this alone.
Yeah, it's insane. There goes the Master Sword that we never collected.
And never have to use anyway. Well, almost. I will soon.
Don't spoil the ending.
Alright, so here I quickly get Infinite Sword Glitch again, and now I'm able to do some really quick damage. Down already.
Now, although he has the Master Sword, Young Link still holds the Kokiri Sword, but it has the power of the Master Sword in the same range as the Master Sword, which means it can attack things from the distance that you could if you had the Master Sword.
Yeah, so it actually is the Master Sword, it's just the model is still the Kokiri Sword. Although I don't even have to use it here, I can just use my Deku Stick again. Except for this last part.
Yeah, the final blow.
So Zelda has Ganon down, and all I have to do is slash. And done. And suddenly Link's voice gets a lot deeper.
Yeah, he's completed his journey and became a man.
In 20 minutes.
Yeah, this was a really, really good run. For something this short, you have to be very, very strict with what mistakes you can allow. And there really wasn't anything too big in this.
Yeah, although even I was surprised at how well I played here. I was expecting maybe 2150 something. Because it's a very short run, but there's a lot of little things in this run, and there's so much little optimizations and hard tricks here and there. So to get a run this clean was, I think, was very lucky.
Yeah, it's...
When you got the motorboat...
Oh, sorry. You go.
Oh, okay. When you got the motorboat, I knew this was going to be the run. Like, there was no way you could fail it at that point. If you can pull that off, you can definitely finish.
And luckily the Ganon fight isn't that hard, as long as I can get ISG first try.
It's pretty hard to think of too many more optimizations. Like, it's going to be really minor stuff. The TAS by Swordless is like 2 minutes faster, so...
Yeah, it's almost exactly 2 minutes faster, maybe a little more because the timing differences, but yeah, there's really not a lot that you can do in the TAS which can't be done in this. The only really thing that really comes to mind is the Mido skip, but that's not really that big of a time saver.
Yeah, there could be...
It's just general optimization.
You could try to optimize the Cocos more with... I think the TAS uses a slightly different Coco route, but I tried that, and I could never get the Cocos to cooperate and move in the right way.
Yeah, the way that the console runners do it is definitely a lot more reliable than the way the TAS does it.
Yeah.
It's just the TAS method is very luck based, whereas in this one you actually do have some control over it because like they run in the opposite direction from where Link is standing.
Yeah, and suddenly I'm Adult Link, just because.
Well, you heard his voice change, that's why.
He became a man.
Yep. I know it's probably foolish to say this, but I think with the warp that was found, I don't think there's going to be anything else huge that will change this speedrun category.
Yeah, I don't think it's... I think maybe there might be a few second improvements here and there, but I think this is pretty much as low as it's going to go.
I mean,
Yeah,
we said that when RBA came out.
Yeah,
as well,
that's
but,
true.
I mean, even at the time though, there was still things like the light arrow cutscene, which we
Yeah.
all wanted to skip, whereas that's now gone. So
Yeah, we've been
it's
saying
really,
that. We've been saying that since 2008, so that might not be true.
It's really hard to think of something that could actually make this any faster, except like we mentioned earlier, if we could do a Ganonless route.
Yeah,
with
but I mean,
something
could you
like
really
this.
think of wrong warp before we actually found wrong warp? I mean, who actually expected
No,
that?
absolutely not. It's the most crazy break in the game so far.
Although I think one kind of likely improvement is a possible sequence break in the tower escape sequence, because if you right after the cutscene of Ganon dying, if you jump off the bridge or if you jump off the tower, you'll actually respawn a few floors below because that's technically where you exited. But the problem is the bars behind you are blocked and you don't have Zelda with you to raise the bars. So if there was some way to get past those bars, that would probably save another minute.
That'd be really cool. Another possible improvement, but it seems unlikely to me, would be some way to use the fairy ocarina in the boss room in the Decker Tree that would skip the bottle.
Yeah, I think someone had an idea of using magic beans with that, but it didn't work out.
Well, one idea that I've heard is like if we could somehow delay the text from the heart container, and maybe that could interrupt it or something, but I don't know. I don't think anything's going to come from it. So how much of an improvement was this run over the previous kind of any percent, the Ganonless route?
My best Ganonless run was 46 minutes 52 seconds, so 25 minutes, almost 25 minutes of improvement.
It's insane. And
Yeah.
it skips a lot of the like really boring parts that were still in that route.
Yeah, there was still the light arrow cutscene, the Master Sword cutscene, each of those 3 or 4 minutes, I think, of just text. And speedrunners in general hate cutscenes and text because you can't really do
Yeah.
anything. You're
You just
just
have to
sitting
wait.
there. So it's really great to be able to skip those cutscenes.
And this is also the first time in a long time that the any percent hasn't had any kind of RBA or BA in it, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
a nice change because I think everyone was sick of that.
Yeah, for
And
anyone.
it's just really confusing to understand what's going on. It looks like cheating even though it's not.
Yeah, for anyone.
It's hard to explain, and it like to actually get all the items you need, you have to go through the really boring, like the trading sequence. You know, you have to run
Yeah.
around, so it's not that fun.
Yeah, for anyone wondering exactly what it is, you use a glitch to get a bottle on your B button, and then by catching something in that bottle, it can write certain values to certain memory addresses based on the item you have on C write. And this was used to give yourself the medallions and certain songs, so you could actually activate the light arrow cutscene without beating any dungeons. And we thought that would be like the fastest way to beat it ever, but it's not. And we actually went from doing a run with no dungeons to a run with doing one dungeon, and that's actually faster.
A run with one dungeon and no Ganon battle, and now we do one dungeon with a Ganon battle, but it's a lot faster and cooler.
When you don't have to go Adult Link, it saves a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that alone is a huge amount of time. Now everyone's partying at the Long On Ranch.
Yeah, all these people that we've never seen before.
At this place I've never seen before. The last 5 minutes have been played.
So, do you have any plans to do anything else with this category?
I'm probably done with any percent unless any improvements are found. Then I'll probably go back to it because I hate myself and want to do this forever.
Yeah, you can't handle not having the best record.
Yeah, but I am working on some other Ocarina of Time runs soon. I'm going to be doing 100% speedruns. and that's going to be a
that's
lot of
gonna be
fun.
cool.
Although very
5
long,
hours
too.
longer than this.
Yeah.
How about
It's-
MST? Do you think you're ever going to return to that?
Eventually, but I'd rather do 100% first. Cause
Yeah,
it's-
100% hasn't really gotten a lot of attention compared to the other categories,
Yeah.
so it'd be
There's-
nice to see some of that.
There's so much cool stuff in 100%. It's like constant action.
Yeah.
So, should we do a plug for ZSR?
Check
Yeah,
out
of course, yeah.
ZeldaSpeedruns.com if you want to learn more about all the glitches and stuff. There's a pretty big community of people who play these games.
Yeah, and also if you ever want to try learning yourself and doing some runs of yourself, you can go to speedrunslive.com, and they do some races of this game and a lot of other games.
And you can also watch ZFG and Cosmo on Twitch TV, and there will be links to this and everything else that's been mentioned so far in the description.
There's a lot of speedrunners on Twitch TV. You guys should check it out.
Yeah, there's tons. Speedrunning in
Yeah,
general has become extremely popular in the last year.
Yeah.
Ocarina of Time is one of the most popular games to speedrun. There's also games like Super Mario 64 and Super Metroid that are really popular, but there are speedruns of lots of other games. You can probably find them on Twitch or YouTube or any other place.
Yeah, Majora's Mask is quite popular for speedrunning.
Yeah, it's getting pretty popular.
You're doing that right now as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm playing some Majora's Mask right now, although I don't plan to go for any records. Just having some fun there.
Yeah, just playing with the safety wheels on for a while.
Yeah. And so here, I go back to child, like what's normally supposed to happen. In
I
the
must be so confused right now.
Yeah, everything is, the timeline is going whack here. Actually, in the previous speedrun route, you would actually warp to the credits as adult and completely skip Ganon, and in this cutscene you would actually be adult meeting Child Zelda, which was kind of funny.
It's double
weird
funny
thing.
too, because now it's Child Link and Adult Zelda in the speedrun.
Yeah. So that's the end of the run, everyone. Thanks for watching.